Hello and welcome to So Farscape,
A fun-filled Farscape fancast by a fervent fan.
and a frankly fascinated first-timer.
I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay,
And this is
the story So Farscape. Ooh, and we are back to a regular So Farscape episode.
It's a Farscape-ass episode,
It is
isn't
very
it?
Farscape-ass. We're talking about episode 404, Lava's a Many Splendored Thing.
Yes. Fantastic fourth episode of season 4. Absolutely adorable. I've really been looking forward to this episode because it's just nice and stupid, and that's kind of how I like them.
Fair enough. It's a bit of a Planet of the Week episode, but it's...
Yeah, what do you think you'd compare it to in terms of previous episodes that we've seen?
Sheesh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
right?
I mean, we are doing with a heisty thing. It's structured the same way as Taking the Stone was.
Oh, wow.
But dealing with, Taking the Stone dealt with themes, and this one is just a little...
Stupid. It's
stupid.
very
yes.
it's silly and stupid, and I absolutely love it.
Well, I mean, there's a few things to be said about it. It's fun, that's for sure.
Good. Okay, I'm starting to feel that maybe we're going to come at this from different angles. That's totally okay. Let's see what our listeners had to say about it.
Right. Top form humor, just don't eat soup. Sorry?
I was going to say fully agreed. Top form humor. Well done.
Don't eat soup for dinner before watching. Thank you, the Derp.
Granny's cooking doesn't agree with the crew, causing an unplanned evacuation. Yikes. Whilst dropping the kids off at the pool.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Our favourite kleptomaniac disturbs a robbery in process. But these are not the freedom fighters Granny is looking for. Lola isn't the only one enjoying Dargo's DNA. Yikes.
Yeah.
And Lou Costello takes a really hot bath. Can I get a hell yeah?
Thank you, Marky See. Little Bubba got caught in a trap. Grandma picked a bad time for a nap. Lava-baked plans, puke-covered hands. No more of that cleansing restorative crap.
Oh, once again, excellent. Rick from the Delta Quadrant coming in with the limericks. Noranti, whose name we now fully know.
Oh, yes.
Right, she introduces Utu Noranti Pranaltong. Noranti tries to become a main character and creates more problems than she is worth. Boo. Boo, judgy. Chiana and Sikozu bond over bodily fluids. Yeah. Rygel issues boil to a melting pot. Yikes.
Point.
Very good, melting point, while the others attempt to save the day. Finally, Noranti redeems herself by performing.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. And welcome to the fiery lava resort planet. Now, before you take a lovely relaxing dip in the scalding lava pool, you may want to put on the energy protective armor. Just remember to shoot yourself every 5 minutes. Or there is a nice amber chrysalis casing. You will just bob about in the lava pool. The resort is not responsible for any burn, cooking, or scalding. Have fun. Thank you, Black Rain.
Oh, let's jump into this episode because I really want to.
Prepare the starburst.
We start out where we left off last episode.
Yes, a quick little concise recap, and then they are on the transport pod.
Lola is where they are. Lola is towing John's module, which in the last episode, John was in the module. So
Yes.
how did he transit?
Spacesuit?
Does Lola have it doesn't have an airlock.
Ooh, doesn't it? No. Maybe
It just has a hatch.
Interesting question.
Maybe the hatch is an airlock. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can just dock them against each other and then equalize pressure and then open them up. You don't technically need an airlock.
Okay.
It's not super safe.
How would that work on John's module, which only has the flip-up
yeah,
canopy?
well, there's that. Maybe they put a tent over it or something.
Okay.
I mean,
Normally you're the one who bristles when something is hand waved, and this one you're just waving your hands.
whatever,
left and right.
yeah.
Yeah, getting in the spirit of it. Everybody's complaining that they've been stuck aboard Lola for so long.
Normally I would have said he just probably transferred at some point, but yes, we come to the point that they are stuck on Lola and that they haven't been able to land anywhere, get any food or do anything. So yes, that is actually a good point that you're making.
Which Sikozu
Do you want me
can't
to go? Do
understand.
you want me to launch into a diatribe about the space transfers? Maybe like John did another space hop and.
Okay. Well, I think that we have a diatribe of yours ahead of us, so I'm going to pull the brakes
there's
on this
definitely one, yes.
Yes, exactly. Right. We'll save that for later. Something to look forward to. I always do.
Initially, Rygel looks a little bit better than he has so far. He's getting over his
shiner's
bruising.
fading. Yeah. Or maybe it's just the red light. I really like the interior of Lola. even though it's like really cramped and probably very uncomfortable to film in. It's got all these lights going on, beautiful textures on the inside. It looks more spacious, I'm sure, than it feels. Because, their problem is lack of food. Sikozu doesn't understand why there's a problem.
You ate only 3 solar days ago. How inefficient is your body?
How edible is yours?
You're so weak, or what? Yeah.
Why is your digestive system so inefficient? But Noranti is there with a solution. We see her
Yes. I mean,
putting
okay.
things into her hands.
Okay, very smart move. Let the cocaine fairy feed you stuff that she just spit on or spit up. I'm not quite sure which one of the two it is.
Yeah, they didn't see that. Nobody sees that, just us. So it's one of those sort of, Punch and Judy show. Look behind you. We know something that the characters don't, and so we get to sort of...
Go, ew.
Ew. Yes, exactly. It's a very ew episode.
In very many ways. So yes, people get a little niblet, and everyone gets one, except Rygel wants more, of course, because food.
Yep.
John initially refuses, but gets with the program anyway after everybody else goes like, oh, this isn't too bad, actually.
Yeah.
John complains that it tastes like chicken.
Why does everyone taste like chicken? Everything tastes like chicken.
Yes. And then cut to them landing on the planet, which was like, oh, there's a planet there. And
Yes.
it's like, oh, there's only molten rock, nothing to find there. And then they land anyway. And it's like, okay, why do they bother landing here? But it turns out that Lola's facilities probably aren't equipped for the kind of emergency that they're dealing with.
I don't know if she's equipped with a privy.
I'm assuming that's... I'd hope
One
so.
would hope.
Yeah, but at least an emergency. But not for everybody else, because everybody goes throwing up and...
They're all
yes.
trying to be cool. Like John and Chi, they're sort of nodding at each other. You good? Yeah, I'm good. And then they both bulk.
Yep.
Rygel's flying off.
Goes down a hole to, find a quiet spot to do his thing after there's been... they probably had a high helium budget on this episode.
They don't actually release helium onto the set. They just record it afterwards.
Oh, well. Spoil sport.
That would be a lot of helium, and a lot of people would die.
Damn. How do you roll the window down in this place?
Wow!
You only need a little bit of helium to get your voice going weird.
That's true. It does help if you do still have regular air to breathe
Right.
also. While he's looking for a corner to make a deposit, Rygel discovers some treasure.
Yes.
An unexpected amount.
We've seen those dodecahedron cubes before, haven't we? Those containers.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's a really stupid shape for a container, but
It's very non-stackable, but maybe it's, I don't know, better in 0G for some reason.
Yeah, we have not seen a lot of 0G in this series. So.
It's not a common tradition.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just look cool, and in particular, Noranti is intrigued by them. She recognizes those markings. Where have we seen those markings before? Oh.
I mean, okay, so Noranti, I'll get this out of my system right now. I am still on the fence about what's the deal with her. I'm willing to entertain the thought now that she is actually genuine and not actually onto something, but I still think she's running her own agenda. Yes. After this episode, I'm willing to entertain the fact that, like, okay, maybe she's just like, this is just her, she's just weird and, does stuff out of her own motivation without making it abundantly clear. She also has no respect for other people's, bodily autonomy and regarding what kind of stuff she gives them. She is still the cocaine fairy, and that's.
Let me think now. Oh, do you want to put some points on how many episodes it's going to take for you to be convinced one way or the other? Because you've made that bet that you think that she's up to something and that she's mind-frelling people. But how many
she's
episodes?
obviously mind-frelling people. The question is how much.
And how long are you willing to wait before you concede?
Well, that's not a fair bet, because I can always, concede whenever at the optimum time to make my bet come true. So that's...
Oh, yeah. No, I just realized that. Wow. So much stupidity, wonderful stupidity in one episode has really brought my IQ down. Because when, I think it's Crichton or Dargo who tosses this trinket of treasure, admonishing Rygel, hey, this stuff belongs to someone, don't take it. Yeah. And Rygel tries to take it anyway and triggers this
as always,
laser light booby trap that encases him in amber. It's like a vase.
Yeah.
Up around his neck. He's lucky that it doesn't include his face, which also seals up the opening that they walked through, that Chi and Sikozu are still on the other side of.
Is that the same material? I think so. I mean, at first I thought it was a force field, but I think it might be the same amber-like material. Although...
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's a weird system. But yes, basically they are stuck in a trap.
Caught in a trap.
Dargo can't shoot his way out. He tries, but it doesn't work.
Because I love you too much, baby.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're wearing your blue suede shoes today. So, yes, they're stuck. But fortunately, or maybe not, soon enough, two guys show up. I think they're either from the Mad Max crew or those two dudes from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I had Mad Max written down as well.
Well, it's also a little bit of those two guys from the Black Pearl, you know, those...
Yes.
Tweedledween, Tweedledum, or whatever they're...
That's right. One of them had the
wooden eye.
The wooden eye, and the other one also had the bald pate and the wild hair as a sort of crest around his dome. Yeah, I see the sort of resemblance in the look,
but also the way they act.
How come I always got to do all the heavy lugging?
Because you're not smart enough to do anything else. That's why.
Oh? Well, why are you here?
Because I'm not smart enough to hang out with anyone else.
They're sort of squaddies. You know, they've got a very blue collar, it's just a job, bickering at each other because they're essentially work spouses.
Yeah.
Right? Depending on the kind of job that you have, if you have one, you spend more time with your direct colleagues than you do with your children or spouse.
Totally. Granny immediately wants to go make friends, but John dissuades her by just yanking her away. Tells Rygel to play dead. Okay, so the scatological humor in this episode is like, you know, there's always been the joke of Rygel farting helium, but the scatology is really turned up to 11 in this episode.
Hey, everybody poops.
I know.
But it does feel almost Lexian in its sort of revelry of bodily functions.
It does a bit, yes.
Everything's gurgling, and also like they're in a lava cave where everything's bubbling and gurgling and streaming.
Yes.
This was one of the... No, I think Tim Ferrier called this the toughest episode for the set department to work on.
Okay.
Because there was no examples of how to do this in film. Like, film and television, trying to think of a sci-fi thing that takes place in like a lava cave.
Kroll.
Okay, but apart from Kroll, what have the Romans done for us lately? No, you're quite right. Yeah, actually, So the script called for this labyrinth. Okay, how are we going to do that? We've got a budget. We've got to build all this in 7 days, and it's going to be lava, and they've got to get in the lava. Ooh, okay, how are we going to do this? But it came together absolutely wonderfully. Even the whole set just looks like a stomach and a gastrointestinal system.
It looks a bit like lava caves, I suppose. I mean, I've never seen lava caves, although there was still lava in them. But other than that, it looks pretty good. So, what have we seen these guns before? Again, they look very familiar to me.
Oh, with the
weird...
What do we call it? Let's call them the robbers. That's essentially what they are.
Yeah,
They're not
fair enough.
Tarkans.
No.
That's the leader. They remind me of Zorg's guns from The Fifth Element.
Oh,
a little bit. They're big and unwieldy. I mean, just
they have those weird halberd-like protrusion on the end of it.
Hey, they might just be original for this episode.
Yeah, possible. They just look familiar to me. I can't place them. So, if any of you listeners know if these guns have been used before by another prop department, or afterwards, I might have known it from something else. As we know that prop skipped it. Please let us know. We'd love to hear that. If anybody who is better at gun fu in movies than I am,
we're at Farscape on Twitter and Facebook, and you can find some. I mean, you can also just misuse the fanfic link, farscape.com/fanfic, because nobody sent in fanfics in a while. Hint, hint.
Who knows?
Hey, speaking of guns, also same question for... Do you notice Chiana has a gun?
I know. It's like a really
amazing,
cool
right?
gun. Yeah, I saw that. I actually have that written down as like love Chiana's little pistol.
Me too. Because it's got a little scope on it and like this...
Little superfluous little twirlies and accents and things, yes.
But it's also much better balanced for her whole silhouette. It looks
a bit like Leia's stun gun at the opening of, although that was much longer and slenderer. But like I said, it fits the character. Let's put it like that.
Exactly. Like I like that it's this little snub-nosed number that you can sort of I think it's supposed to be fired from the hip, like close to your body, hard to knock out of your hand.
It's a handgun pistol, Saturday Night Special, maybe. Well, it's too big for a backup gun, really.
I wonder where she picked that up.
First picture, yes.
Maybe she got it from one of the peacekeepers in the last episode. I don't know.
It doesn't look like a peacekeeper gun to me.
No, it certainly doesn't.
No.
Speaking of guns, the situation deteriorates into a firefight because Noranti's attempts to introduce herself to the Tarkans, whom she knows as good people and rescuers.
Yes, they are freedom fighters and they do good work.
Listen to me, these are Tarkans. They're good people.
They save thousands because of all the goods, air, oxygen, water,
cool
food,
stuff like that.
Guns, although I'm not sure she mentions those, but yes.
A firefight ensues, during which Crichton and Dargo realize these guys have body armor.
Yes, actually, shields.
Yeah. Which Crichton marvels at.
They got body armor? That's a hell of an invention. How come we don't have that?
I love the banter between Dargo and John here. So after they retreat, Rygel is removed from the stalagmite that he is attached on.
Yes, because stalactites hang tight to the ceiling, and stalagmites might poke you in the bum.
Okay.
According to John Hodgman.
And then he gets put in the elevator, which is conveniently steam elevator or something. So you can just put a prop in there and then it goes.
There's a beautiful blast of steam.
And then the object is gone.
I like to imagine that's one of those pneumatic postal systems. Rygel says it's quite a drop.
Yes, it's a bit of a dumbwaiter system.
And he arrives in this lava cave where we see this figure arising from the lava pool holding a giant lump of rock. So presumably those are, if I'm piecing this together correctly, those are the sort of storage containers that may have been just kept under lava for safety because Tarkans apparently can walk into the lava safely.
Yes.
And so they need those green sort of blasty melty guns to get the gunk off them.
Okay, so that doesn't quite make sense because the upstairs stuff is still unpacked. And they're not moving the stuff from downstairs to upstairs because the guys arrive without cargo and they're clearly there to pick up the other crates. So what I think they're doing is bringing them down, then encasing them in amber and chucking them in the pool. But why they're doing that, makes no sense to me.
But he's coming out of the pool with an encased thing on his shoulder.
It makes no sense.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
does it make sense? Does it make sense the other way around if you play that completely in reverse?
No, only if they're using the lava pool to take it away somewhere, which also doesn't make sense because that's not where their transport is.
No, here's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
The sort of treasure was stored long-term by the actual Tarkans in the lava pool, either encased in amber or maybe it's just encrusted because it's in the lava pool.
Yeah.
What's his name? Rygel goes into the lava pool, fetches the encrusted container, puts it in the lift up to the sort of staging area where it's cleaned before being moved to their transport, which is on the surface.
Right, but then
so what we see there is the staging area where they've been cleaned, but they haven't been moved yet. That's what the two guys are doing. They're going back and forth between the staging area and the
but they're not. But when they arrive, they don't have any crates with them, which you would assume.
No, because they're taking the crates from the staging area to their craft. They just returned from
that's possible.
moving it. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I hadn't considered that part.
Yay!
I mean, the craft is well hidden and they'll never find it, and still close by, apparently, because they check it later. But, okay.
So they don't have to design one because we never see it.
Yeah, very clever. Chiana and... what's her face again?
Sikozu,
that's the one.
Sikozu. Yeah, they're stuck on the other side, and they have to go on a mission of their own, which I really enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
Girl time is such a rare occurrence that I love that it's happening. And their sort of relationship moves as well.
Oh, very, yeah. There's a lot of development there this episode.
Because they're both very intense young women, kind of prone to externalize their insecurities by biting and clawing and blaming others.
It's a little bit reminiscent of the early days between Shana and Jewel. It's like a little bit of a redo of that.
Yeah, good point. But they reach a sort of point of respect a lot quicker when they... each sort of appreciate that the other has really valuable insights. And both of them, in their own way, are very sort of merit-driven. They only respect people that they're impressed by, but they discovered that Sikozu is to Chiana impressive across a sort of dimension that she didn't previously respect. I really enjoyed this, even though it involves them digging around in Puke, because...
He is a big and brave warrior. However, If these controls are locked to his DNA, it was not particularly smart of him not to have set up an override sequence.
Wait.
It would be even stupider to not have told people about an override sequence if he had one. Okay, but we know that he can operate Lola because, it responds to him speaking Luxon and his DNA.
Yeah.
So her reasoning that it would be stupid for him to not have an override sequence is kind of weird, because it would be equally stupid to have an override sequence and not tell anybody about it.
I guess... I mean, having your ship locked to your DNA is a security feature.
Yes.
But if you're unable to get to your ship in an emergency, you could perhaps call someone and tell them at that moment the override sequence. But having them know all the time is a security gap.
No, fair, yeah. But then you just have to guess what that sequence is, and you're just
That's
basically guessing passwords.
Yeah, which is not going to get you there anytime soon, even though she's brilliant. But Chiana has a much better idea, which is we have piles and piles of our DNA.
Well, puke is that's not piles and piles. It's just like gunk that came out of your stomach with a little bit of DNA mixed in if you're lucky.
It'll have some. I mean, it's going to have stomach lining.
No, I know.
And that's your own content warning for people who are sensitive to that. This is probably not an episode to listen to, but mucus that you've swallowed and
no, true.
Oh, maybe blood.
Maybe blood if you're unlucky. I mean, you're not supposed to have blood in your stomach, but yeah.
The reason, once again, content warning, it's going to get worse. The reason the poop is brown is because of dead blood cells.
Correct.
So when did they arrive?
Somewhere in your intestine.
Okay, so not in the stomach yet.
No.
Okay, so you can't puke.
No, I'm not sure which part of the body, which organ gets those dead blood cells out, but yes, it's...
Is it the spleen? Is the spleen involved in that?
I'm not going to go into guessing games about which body part does what.
The spleen needs a job. It's just sitting there. Nobody will tell me what the spleen's job is.
I think it provides insulin,
which I can relate to, by the way.
I think it makes insulin, but now you have me guessing anyway. Damn it!
Listen. I recently got in touch with some old colleagues from a few employers ago, and we're going to go out like real adults and have dinner later this month, which I'm really looking forward to. And as I was sort of thinking back to the good old days when we enjoyed our banter in the office, I tried to think, what the fuck was my job? I know the title. I know there was something with approvals and purchase orders, but I can't remember what the fuck I did all day. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, that was at not UPS. The whatever
it's
the
changed name a bunch of times. I think in the end it was like Liberty Global. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Listen.
Internet
We're on
provider.
This awesome planet, and Crichton and John they're sort of hiding out a little bit. Let me see. There's some negotiation over the radio.
My name's Rygel.
Who was this awesome figure that came out of the lava?
Yes, so he is one of the actual species. What are they called? The freedom
Tarkans.
fighters.
He is actually a Tarkan.
He has a Tarkan, yes. And he has humans or subatianoids at least working for him.
All of them with wacky haircuts.
And yes, it turns out that they are actually robbing the Tarkans.
Yep.
The other Tarkans.
Sort of simplifies the whole situation and why this misunderstanding occurred.
This doesn't stop Granny from still trying to do her thing. And finally, when she convinces John to actually go out and let her talk to him, then she falls asleep.
Yes, just lets out a big yawn.
Which again makes me think that she's just being a manipulative little bit. I mean, she always does bullshit like that.
She kind of does, doesn't she?
Yeah. It's so... Yeah, that's... Yeah, Tarkin is trying to figure out where John and Dargo are hiding.
Well, hang on.
Oh?
Sleuth this out. Why did she just fall asleep then and there? What's she achieving?
She's achieving the fact that now John starts talking... No, not really. I'm not sure. What did she achieve?
I mean, she just convinced them that they could talk to Rygel, that she would try and negotiate, and then she zonks out.
Yeah.
What did she expect to achieve by convincing them to pursue the path of peace and then not participating in that pursuit?
Well, it's a very high risky gamble to actually then go ahead and assume that they're still going to go ahead.
Right?
Yeah. unless she's mind-frilling them again, which is probably the case. So I'm still not convinced of her good nature. Yes.
This is, once again, an episode that is wonderfully written, but both too clever and too stupid to want to recap beat by beat. So I think that we should just, like we did with 401, maybe sort of play the hits, because there's a bunch of them, and the sort of connective tissue, that's where we sort of lose
the plot.
I don't know exactly what happened in which scene, but I do remember that initially when I heard Rygel, I was kind of on his side. Like, he sounded like a reasonable person. Like, this might indeed be a misunderstanding.
No, I didn't get that. I got more that he was immediately, we have interlopers and we must defend our property, you know? It's like,
which I could imagine. Like, if the crew of, say, the Serenity from Firefly accidentally landed on Yavin and found themselves in Princess Leia's, you know, two sets of people who are in their way very similar and both sort of rebels, but if one of them walked into the other's house, they would be threatened, they would respond with violence.
Right. Well, these guys are far too, possessive about the stuff that they're stealing. You know, they're like, you're stealing from us. And like, no, you're stealing from someone else. That doesn't mean that anybody who just wanders in here is stealing from you. Even though, yeah.
Had that been revealed at this point? See, this is what I mean. Like, that revelation might not have happened yet. So
probably not. But since we're talking about a general vibe, you have to consider that in Rygel's motivation from the start.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he's stealing.
In retrospect,
yeah,
yes,
everybody knows that they're stealing, and yet they're being like, "Oh, you're stealing from us." It's like, no. At this point, you go like, "Oi, get lost! We've got here first."
Dibs.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
yeah. He does simplify it later on. Like, no, we're not Tarkans. We're stealing from them, and you can identify us. Need I go on?
Yeah.
Okay, now we get it. But the moment that I realized that Rygel was a baddie was when he's on the radio with one of the goons, one of the droogs.
Yes.
Trying to get him to describe, like, where are you? And he was actually, like, calm and sensible and, like, talking the guy through, are there any markings? Oh, yeah, there's purple markings. All right, then I know exactly where you are.
Yeah, shoot those purple markings.
I don't know what they say. Yeah, just shoot them. They probably said, "Do not shoot! Explosion inside."
Careful lava behind. Yeah. Because yes, a big firestorm washes out. It kills the guy immediately,
vaporized,
and it sends lava rising into the room where John and Dargo are. Now, this lava effect was pretty cool. Where you see the broken bits of lava floating on the thing. It's moving a little bit too fast, but...
Yes, they probably would have wanted to overcrank the camera a little bit.
Yeah, then again, you have very fast-moving lava. I mean, if you saw the footage from Hawaii's latest eruption, where you got, like, very quick lava streams going. But this is
yikes.
you can see how they kind of see how they did it. But
this is probably...
but it looks pretty good.
Styrofoam on goopy, foamy water.
Oh, I don't even think that. I think it looks more like they're pumping air under some sort of cloth. But
that's also very well possible. Yeah, good point.
But that's it. So yeah, they're like, Granny's fallen asleep. She gets like literally yeeted across the lava.
Yeah, I can make that. But the old bat can't.
Old bats can fly.
Because Crichton sort of looks at it and yeah, I can make it, but Granny can't. And Dargo goes, for flip's sake.
So he tosses Granny to his side.
Nobody tosses a Gran.
All right, look, I lied. I can't make that jump.
You can't make that jump. Give me your foot.
He gets a leg up, or rather a leg forward.
Fortunately, he lands on a soft space, Granny.
And then it's Dargo's turn.
And he almost doesn't make it.
And for a second, I thought they were going to do the nobody tosses a dwarf gag, but he's just teetering on his heels and that Crichton would grab him by the beard, or by the tenkas in his case.
Oh, yes. Ooh, that would be very intimate.
But not even that.
No, he just like tongue lashes around Granny's throat and hauls himself in.
Did you say tongue lasso?
I said tongue lashes, but...
take the credit.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of practice.
Yes. I mean, okay, so now I'm wondering, Dargo canonically has a very long tongue. Mm-hmm. Does he keep it like a hummingbird, like wrapped around his brain brain?
That's amazing. I saw that too. Wow, nature. Wow.
Like woodpeckers and hummingbirds, that tongue goes all the way up around the back, and it's like...
Oh, how do geckos do it? Because they do the projectile tongue.
Yeah, no idea.
Maybe it's stretchy?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's just one of those little gummy things that you throw against the window.
I know.
Like that's kind of what it looks like. So yeah, now we get like a scene where the girls are having a little one-on-one science talk and like trying to figure things out.
Yeah. I like that this moment of sort of mutual respect arrived just before failure, in the proper like Farscape tradition. And
yes.
Because like Chiana's impressed, kind of. Sikozu goes, "Oh, it's actually quite simple."
To a great man like yours.
And it's not ironic.
No.
Right, she is genuinely appreciated. Okay, Sikozu is brilliant, and then it doesn't work.
Right, so
Back to bickering.
Really, quite simple. Foul!
So let's talk about Rygel and then not anymore. Because like Rygel is like still encased in the amber except for his head, and he is about to dren himself.
Yes. Yes, well done. He needs to slock very badly, as he says, and we do not need translator microbes to know what that is. Hey, speaking of translator microbes, a Farscape tradition has been broken in which one of the aliens had said damn and damn it, namely Sikozu.
Oh.
Did you catch that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. But there are those on the internet who believe that that's valid because she can speak English. Now, she's learned that from John, and that may in fact be
that makes sense, yeah.
what she's saying.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Right?
Also, like get damned could be something that you would expect in like lots of cultures to be a swear.
That is true. Yeah. So the opposite of blessing.
Right, yes.
Can we just talk about how cool Rygel looks, by the way?
He looks odd. I mean, he looks like a bit of an amalgamation between the insect guy from... what was it? There was like... We've seen like...
Insect guy?
I mean, he looks a bit insectoid. Like, well, mostly it's like Star Wars insectoid guy.
I mean, when he's got his helmet on, it's this beautiful sort of mother of pearl changeant kind of look like a beetle.
But it leaves his neck exposed in the back, and his face is like the mouth of Sauron, which we can see.
Yeah. You see him without his helmet too.
Oh yes,
when he's talking to Rygel.
Good point. Yeah, at that point he's got the brain bulbs, which is definitely something we've seen before.
I don't know that we've seen this species, dude.
Well, I'm not saying we've seen this species. We've seen that effect. It's like
like so.
Kind
of
like this netting over their head with these brain bulges sticking out.
Yeah. What's her name? Namtar's assistant.
Right.
In
yes.
DNA Mad Science.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it's like there's this netting and it's bulging out, and then he's got this helmet on it with these really nasty hooks on them. He looks so menacing.
Yeah. Granny conveniently wakes up again to be involved in the negotiations. And I really like John's way of dealing with that. It's like he's yanking her back and forth like he's allowing her in camera or in front of the microphone. Whereas in fact they're talking over the communications. Negotiating, basically, about what to do. This is where we learn that he's robbing the Zarkans, Zartans? Tarkans.
Dude, I'm not sure that this is the point. I think that's a face-to-face, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's sending an escort, which is Tweedledee and Tweedledon't. And while those are on their way, our heroes are concocting a plan.
Yes.
They want those belts.
Yes. John's having a little bit of a banter with Dargo. There's a lot of John Dargo banter in this episode.
They're really... Sundance and the Butch Kid. Whoa, no, that's not it.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
that's the
Kid
one.
is what you're trying. Yeah.
And a lot of like Abbott and Costello references as well.
Yes, Mo and Curly, as John calls Tweedledee and Tweedledon't. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, actually, but yeah.
I know.
Okay, fair enough.
Or Tweedledum and Tweedledummer. That's the ones. Yeah. Oh, I wish we were still titling these episodes. Okay, Granny actually wants to help. Because she's overheard John's cunning plan, which Dargo summarizes
she was asleep,
hitting them with a rock.
Yes,
that's your plan.
Yeah.
Yes, says John, because as we've seen, they don't work. Those belts work against pulse fire, but not against thermal energy. And thermal energy is the same as kinetic energy, which is what rocks have.
Yes, I mean, as scientist John, you disappoint me. I'm
just going to go for a quick jog.
I'm not
tell the audience.
I am not even going to start on that one.
I told you that you had one full run. Go for it.
Well, I'm not sure I need to save that for something else. I definitely need to save that for something else.
Oh, wow, this wasn't it?
No, this wasn't it. This is just like me
Thermal and kinetic.
This is me being disappointed in John as a scientist. It's like, I mean, yes, you can turn one kind of energy into the other. That's the whole point of energy. But they're not the same.
No.
Kinetic energy is objects having inertia and speed, basically, and thermal energy is these molecules moving really fast.
Yep.
Not the same.
Does
But
remind
then
me a
again-
little bit of the shields in Dune, though, which
Oh,
were
yes.
entirely like resistant to kinetic energy. The slow blade penetrates the shield.
Well, that's not really true. I mean, that's like they're not resistant to kinetic energy. They just
Oh
only
my gosh, that's right.
they only stop high kinetic energy. That's entirely the point. Like
Yeah.
once
Not even kinetic energy, just speed.
yeah, it's basically like the shields create viscosity for
Right,
things,
yeah.
and like the higher speed it has, the more the shield will stop them. That's why the slow blade can penetrate the shield, and then once you're through the shield, you can just stab them. Then I just started stabbing.
So anyway, I started stabbing.
Yes.
So what they need is a distraction, and we get two really fantastic things. 3, in fact. One of them is this gorgeous set, which is sort of set up to be labyrinthine, where in one
Yes.
shot we see Granny, who's like spewing powder everywhere. Don't
Yeah.
inhale.
Still being the cocaine fairy.
Abbott and Costello hiding behind a corner.
Yep. And Tweedledum and Tweedledummer.
Coming up the road, la la la, unaware, blissful in their ignorance, and now they need a distraction so they can bonk them on the head. And Noranti provides that
Yes.
because Melissa Jaffer was a dancer,
Oh.
and is still a dancer, and like she has got some kick-ass moves.
Yes, she moves quite well. And we also get the shots of what Tweedledum and Tweedledummer are seeing, which is kind of disturbing because we see a Tarkan face with a long blue, I suppose, wig.
Oh,
and
is it Tarkan?
I mean, she's got the same, isn't she?
Oh, I didn't get a close look at Rygel, so I don't know if you had the bug eyes. I mean,
I think you did.
Dave Elsey talked about. We thought we'd do a classic sort of grey alien, you know, like the
I see.
X-Files.
Yes, okay.
Because we hadn't done one before. And it was a really sort of quick last-minute thing to alienize this belly
Right.
dancer, which she, at the time itself, rather enjoyed. But afterwards, she was apparently a little bit concerned that, yeah, it is a bit disturbing to look at.
It looks like basically a Sabatianoid with a grey alien. I can see where it's coming from. I assumed it was a Tarkan, but I don't know why.
Oh, that's very well possible.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a sexually dimorphic species as
Yeah.
well. Which they're absolutely bananas about.
Yes, completely enthralled. They're like basically awoo, hearts coming out of the eyes, a heart jumping out of the chest in cartoon Tex Avery cartoon style.
Yes.
Tongues hanging down to their knees. They slowly move in and get bonked on the head by John and
I
Dargo.
could have. I enjoyed that music so much, and
was really good.
and the dance, and
Followed by John and Dargo seeing Granny having taken her second bra off.
Oh my god.
yeah, Noranti does a full Monty,
Yes.
which apparently for the occasion, the costume department had created these fantastic tufts of underarm hair for Noranti, which are not revealed on screen, and that's what Crichton and Dargo,
going,
unsportingly,
Yes.
sort of recoil at. What a performance, though.
Yes. I love her smug look with her expression just before, and then Dargo going wide-eyed and being like, "Oh."
Noranti has definitely done this before. Like she's almost in a trance herself.
I am the flower. You are the bee.
Which is also a reference to, Earth reference. I guess that might be a translator microbe analogy.
I am the target. You are the gun. Ooh, don't like that one quite so much. But Noranti's sort of joy in this fantastic dance and the majesty of her body, I really, really enjoyed that.
Yes. Meanwhile, Chi and Sikozu are figuring out how the controls of Lola work.
You better hurry, you're losing your vomit.
And actually managed to blast a hole.
Yes, first they have to reorient Lola so that it's actually pointing at the outcropping. But then finally, after Chi exasperately says, like, just do something, and Sikozu just slams down on the controls, the gun actually fires after having failed to do so the first time.
Yep. Sometimes a bit of percussive maintenance is just the thing you need.
Yep.
And now things get complicated again because our heroes have some hostages.
Yes, they take on the shield belts and they take the hostages up to go negotiate with Rygel. It's like, yeah, we know how things are going, but we have a situation here. We've got some of you guys. You've got one of our guys.
Swapsies.
We can't hurt you. You can't hurt us. Let's just like swap our people. And Rygel goes like, ha ha ha, no.
Yeah, now he's asserting himself to be a real shithead. He shoots the 2 hostages.
Yes.
Over the complaints of his other servants.
Who at that point realized, like, okay, it's like might not be working for this guy very much longer.
Again, I just love how Rygel looks. Like, that sort of bug helmet is really... Also, this is John Adam again, who previously played Bakesh, where he also had an eye-covering helmet. And it was just pure coincidence that this is how it turned out. It was a surprise to Dave Elsey, who created this costume, that it would be John Adam playing this character again, because the last time that he had him in the makeup chair for Bakesh, where he could only see through one little bullet hole in the helmet, John Adam made Dave Elsey promise, next time if I'm back to play an alien, let me have eyes. Oh yeah, no problem. And oh yeah, sorry bud, this is a blind one again. Sorry.
He manages to trap John and Dargo in the web of booby traps.
Yes, so they're fully encircled.
They're trapped like Robin and Batman in the traps of the Joker.
Oh, I was going to say Mr. Freeze.
Right, you're right. That's what I was thinking about, yes. Although we're having quite the opposite here, because he scoops up a bucket of lava.
Supposedly,
which just looks like red goop at this point.
Yeah.
And kind of casually flicks it at them while they're being interrogated.
Causing mild discomfort.
Yeah, probably
and not
some burns. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you... Like, a drop of lava is a rock.
We're talking about more than a few drops here. Like, this is like big splashes of still liquid lava.
Exactly. Like, if that was the case, if you got, like, a droplet of lava flicked at you, it would melt through tissue, absolutely no problem, and it would be heavy enough to continue melting because it's rock.
Right.
I mean, essentially a pebble being fired at...
I mean, if it lands on your clothes, the odds of actually getting burnt are fairly low. But, I mean, the radiant heat might do some damage.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
they're
wearing
heavy,
leather.
It's rock, yeah. It's going to, like, pull it... the leather might actually make it worse. If it's loose cloth, then just the weight of the stuff will probably just, like, pull the cloth away from your body. But, yeah, okay, so... we'll get to my rant in a minute.
Wow.
I
have no idea what it's about. I'm on tenterhooks.
Oh, you're not going to like it.
Awesome. I always like your rants. Look, stuff continues to go wrong. There's a scuffle whose origin I don't completely remember. Oh, yes. They're trying to convince one of the Mad Maxians.
Come on, you heard what Rygel said. He doesn't want any witnesses. Do you think you're going to walk out of here alive with your share?
There's a scuffle during which Rygel manages to distract the Mad Maxian by rolling off his pedestal and unfortunately rolls into the trap and fully ambers himself.
Right, that's what happens. I was wondering what suddenly made the amber go soft again and then encase his head. But yes, it's...
that's why the trap has been sprung, and so that's why they can leave the laser grid, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Everybody disappears, and John picks up the green air gun to start undoing the amber encasing Rygel.
Love that thing. That thing looks so cool.
It is a very cool gun. This is where we see Chana's cool little pistol. Let's have a good look at it.
She jumps out of the ship now that I think it's been invisibilized.
Yes, it has been. She's still working on that. Sikozu is working on that.
I love her face when she does it.
Yeah,
like, oh.
Yeah, they've done the blasting, and Chana goes in to rescue the day, whereas Sikozu stays on the ship.
She's so cool. She's such a stud in this shot.
I love how she does that little, I don't know, John pose or wiggle before she jumps over the edge. I'm not quite sure.
I see what you mean.
Scene.
Like
she just kind of does this little sweep.
The Chiana crouch.
Yes.
Leaps off. Absolutely awesome.
Little Han Solo pose, actually.
That's the one. Yeah. She's got this really cool sort of gunslinger crouch. Love it. Okay, there's more scuffling, and Rygel has gone in the lava.
Yes.
Which means now
Crichton on the clock,
wants to test this.
Yeah, Rygel actually taunts him about that or whatever.
Gosh,
it's a discussion that John and Dargo has.
He's amphibious. He can last.
He can hold his breath for a while. He's not going to be in a great big hurry to start breathing again.
Oh, I think John's trying to, I think Dargo's trying to say, oh, he's dead already.
Yes.
He hasn't been able to breathe. And John goes, no, he's an amphibian. He can hold his breath, so he's still alive, and we still have to go and rescue him.
Yes.
Good on you, John.
Okay,
Way to look
now
out for
we
your
get...
crewmates.
Yeah, John does a little test, shooting himself in the finger. We get
He's got a
Harvey
little
show up.
attendant. Yes.
Harvey shows up, wearing this weird bunny suit.
What?
Oh, they're called bunny suits, like those anti-crime scene contamination.
Oh, my
things.
God.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine Harvey in an actual bunny suit?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, we've seen weirder things on Farscape.
We sure have.
I can imagine Harvey in a bunny suit.
Well, there's a disturbing image. I wrote down Hazmat Harvey, but...
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'm sure he'd look great in a bunny suit. And he's trying to warn John against doing what he's about to do, because as Noranti suggested...
Do you have any small appendages you don't need?
Small?
Shoot him in the buttock. That's big.
Hey, you know what? Don't touch my ass. That's sexual harassment.
Well done.
Getting slapped on the butt by Noranti, yes. But yes, he shoots himself in the finger. Finger stays on. He dips it in the lava. The finger stays on, doesn't burn. He dips it again in the lava after the shield. Oh,
yeah.
ow! This burns. So yes.
So he's got a plan which allows him to wade into the lava and feel around for Sparky as long as he keeps shooting himself.
Okay, and this is where we start going, because now
All
we
right.
see Rygel and one of his henchmen who have moved up top, because after the blast from Lola, John basically bluffed that he had a whole squad of people coming in, and so they went in to check that and check on the ship. So at this point, Rygel is up top.
That's right.
And later, next time we see John wading through the lava, Rygel suddenly comes out of the lava.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought they were using the lava to move things to their transport ship.
Right.
Because apparently there's some way that Rygel can get from being up top to down below, 2 levels down in the lava.
Without anybody seeing him.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
brilliant.
there has to be something
you're
like that.
completely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he swum through one of the lava tubes. I don't
guess.
know.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
While they're scuffling, and yes, it's very... I'm sorry. I'm reminded of Thumb Wars, the Steve Odenkirk parody of Star Wars, where Princess Thumbelina sort of wanders into the scene in the middle of a firefight, saying, just shortcutting a whole bunch of plot by saying, "Yeah, I escaped somehow."
Yeah.
Because while they're having this fight, John and Rygel is trying to get the gun away from John because he knows that's the only thing protecting him from the heat of the lava. And then Chi finds him, and John goes, Chiara, shoot! And she shoots Rygel.
Yes.
Gianna, shoot! Not him, me!
No, shoot me. And I love that Chiana doesn't question it.
Oh,
she just goes okay.
Yeah.
If he is calling for me to shoot him, he must have a good reason.
Yeah, probably he's fine.
So, okay, here it comes. You don't walk through lava like that.
No, because it's rock.
It's rock. It is too dense. You can't just dip down under. Even if you have a magical shield that protects you and allows you lungs not to get scorched while you're in there.
You are water. Water is lighter than
yes,
rock.
You would not even get down to your waist into lava. You would even the thinnest lava, you would still kind of lay on top of it and
Yeah. This is also my problem with the ending of The Return of the King of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Right.
You know, when Smeagol jumps into the lava.
Yes, he sinks into lava. No, you would just lie on top of it and
you would sort
burn.
of smack. Your bones would break.
People could hear you screaming all the time you're burning until you can't.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yikes.
Okay.
That's a lot of imagery. Although it does remind me of this warning sign for, oh gosh, what was there's live, electric inside.
Yeah, live wires. The going in here will kill you and it will hurt the entire time you're dying. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yes, a fight in the tub which gets won by, John, obviously.
Yeah. There's meanwhile also a fight going on with Dargo and the last of the Mad Maxians.
Which is ended in a very gruesome way because basically Dargo shoves his head in the elevator thing.
Lift going down.
And we get this lovely shot of that same head rolling out of the lift on the other level.
I'm not sure whether to make a giving head pun or a going down pun. Either would work, but...
I mean, they're more or less the same. Two sides of the same coin, really. Yes.
Hey, Dargo gets down there awfully quickly, by the way.
Yeah, well.
No, but like to the earlier point.
I have another point of that.
Oh, yes.
So there's another
So
scene
glad.
where Dargo leaves John, and about 2 seconds later, John gets attacked by Rygel. Where the fuck did Dargo go? He is literally just off camera. He has had like 2.5 seconds to like go away, and he does not notice the fact that John and Rygel are suddenly fighting.
I think you're right. I mean, I want to be charitable and say that it's like panto rules, out of sight, out of earshot.
I know, but it's like there's like literally no pause between it. Not a cut, not a nothing. It's just...
I guess this is the new Farscape standard, because like last time when the girls were in prison, they were sort of whispering their conspiracy at the top of their voices.
Right in front of the guard, yes.
Yeah.
Rygel gets his head encased in amber.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, which for him is much more of a problem apparently than for Rygel, whom John manages to find.
Oh, is that a head?
Triumphantly holding him up.
Pulling him out of the ring. They use the green
I get a
air
hell
gun on
yeah?
it.
Hell yeah!
They use the green gun on him, much to Rygel's relief.
And he immediately deflates.
Yes. At this point, the actual freedom fighters show up.
Yeah. More of the same aliens with different helmets. And for a second we think we're worried, but Granny's with them.
Yes, and no, it's like fine. Oh, yes, you have Rygel, the traitor. Well, thank you for dealing with him.
The old woman has explained it. I kind of really liked that.
The old woman has explained it. It's like she's been doing her cocaine fairy tricks again. It's like...
See, I like that this is when we realize that those are the Tarkans, because for this entire episode, you might be forgiven to think that the Mad Max people are the Tarkans and they're being misused by this vicious-looking alien monster.
This came as a slight surprise to me as well. But,
Yeah, you got that?
I get that. Yeah, absolutely.
And just that sort of, the fact that they are, to us, upsettingly ugly does not mean anything to anyone in the universe.
No.
A cat is a monster to a mouse.
I would say so, yes. So, everyone's back on Lola.
Yeah,
goodbyes are said.
Goodbyes are said. They're actually gifted with a belt by the Tarkans.
Oh, yes. It's like, make nothing of it. Like, don't think of it. I mean,
and the Tarkan thanks Granny for the Jilnak, which Crichton and Dargo immediately grab her and ox to her away. Oh no, we have to go. No.
Before they actually eat that, yes.
Before we poison them.
Merely a cleansing restorative.
Rygel uncharacteristically goes, I'm never going to eat again, and immediately gets taunted by Chiana.
Stork wings, crispy Grolak.
Excuse me.
With him starts naming foodstuffs at him.
Chicken wings.
I'm not sure what you say, yes.
Oh, I don't know. It's crispy this or that. And then everyone's spirit is lifted because there's an actual message.
We have an answer machine.
They caught a transmission from Moya. We hear Pilot's soothing voice telling them that they've made contact and that they're going to be showing up.
Moya and I have received your signal. Here is our location. We look forward to your return.
Yay! Lani Tupu's back. We've missed him so much.
Oh, yes. I mean, and speaking of missing, we haven't seen Claudia Black yet. This is episode 4. And
Who's that? I don't know. Maybe her contract didn't get renewed or whatever.
Yeah, right.
What? Oh, she's the one that there's some kissing of in the opening credits.
Yes. I mean, it's a pretty ballsy move to just one of our main characters. We're not going to show him for the first 20% of the season.
Yeah.
Yes. 4 episodes is 20% of 20 episodes. Well, it's a hair under, but close enough.
Yeah. Yowzers. Hey, but Farscape's known for nothing if not bold moves.
Very true, very true.
And what a wonderful sort of note to end on this hope. And it's Rygel who says it.
By the yachts, Moya's all right. She's waiting for us.
It's Rygel who says that Moya's all right and she's waiting for us.
And
he's happy.
He sounds delighted about this.
Yeah, and not just that the prospect
I guess he's missing poker night with Pilot or something.
Aww. All right.
She gives me a woody.
She gives you the willies. That's some good belly dancing music, by the way.
Oh, it is. Yes, very much so. So, okay, willies. Maybe but not quite, the Thunderbirds-esque shots of the landing leg of Lola as it's taking off and landing again.
Okay, yeah, it is a bit wobbly.
Not the best work of the special effects department.
It sort of feels like it's on cables instead of
feels like
on
it's
a
fun Thunderbirds. But I do think that also close second, but no, is the vast amounts of bodily fluids and other things that come from various people during this episode. But I'm afraid that my willy has to go to the lava action.
Spoil sport. Tim Ferrier and his team, they did their best.
They did a very good special effects job on it.
But you still think that it's the worst part of the episode?
No, it just gives me it's just a willy. It's like,
that's right.
Like you can't wade through lava like it's a fucking kiddie pool.
Yes, that's right.
So,
does that go for every planet?
I mean,
hey,
very low gravity planets and very thin lava, maybe, but then there would be visible other like low gravity.
Is there stuff that lava can be made out of other than igneous rock or whatever type of rock we have?
No, I don't.
Okay,
think so
that was okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure no.
I tried.
It's not
Everyone,
it's
so
not.
no.
I mean, you could have molten metal, but that's even heavier.
Yeah, true.
So I really don't think of you can have lava made out of molten water, I suppose, but no, wait, that's just water.
Okay, well, thank you for trying. That's good. I think my willy. No, I'll start with my woody because my woody is the belly dance sequence.
Oh, very good.
Loved it. That music was fantastic.
It was, and it's like I love how they cut between Granny and whoever the belly dancing actress was. Very good, well done effects of like showing what is actually going on and what they are seeing, which only cements my belief that a lot of the time Granny is mind felling with people, and we're having some unreliable narration here. That not everything that we are seeing might be actually the truth of what has been happening.
My lips are sealed.
I know. I'm just.
And I love Melissa Jaffer's fantastic dancing as well. And up to and including her going full Monty, my only willy is the sort of there's an inherent kind of ageism in the idea that a mature woman disrobing is somehow gross or upsetting. Now, she has indicated that she doesn't bathe in a prior episode.
True.
Never bathe, washes the juice off, which, that part.
That could be aromatic, fragrant.
But there are, that may just be a property of the species. Cats or animals with a lot of animals with fur sort of depend on the oils, and for them, bathing is not a great idea. That doesn't.
And then you've got otters.
Oh yes,
but swimming is not the same as bathing. But
no,
yes,
true.
And as we say in Dutch, it stinks like an otter. So.
No, I've never said that.
Oh well, it is an expression.
Well, I have at one point done a photo shoot with an otter from a little otter sanctuary, and he was not into it. There was a handler there. It was responsibly done. People who donated could get their photo taken with this little guy, but he was just not into it. So while they were all sort of imagining, and this was in a hotel, they were lining the hall waiting for an opportunity for this thing that they bought a ticket for.
Have and a little playtime or cuddle with an otter, and
no, none of that. You can walk inside, make no eye contact with the animal, look into the camera, and the handler will hold it in frame, sort of next to your face, and I'll take a bunch of photos so that it's screaming and protesting doesn't look too horrified. Don't look at it. You'll just make it. But and we made sure that between shots there was his blankets that smelled like his family, and he could have a little playtime around. And then he'd done a little poo in the corner, and it was the worst thing that you've ever smelled, Kay.
Oh God,
he was just this little guy. He was just this hamster-sized little guy, and we had to hunt for it. Where is this coming from? It's so noxious and monstrous.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, it stinks like an otter. I totally get that.
Right. So, I guess my woody will go to the...
Please say the stupidity of everything.
I was going to frame it really poorly. I'll call it to the girl-on-girl action between Sikozu and Chiana, but I'm totally talking about how they're interacting and how they're how their relationship. I think those scenes on Lola were my favorite of this episode.
Heck yeah! Farscape has come a long way, and actually seeing we've got bro time with the boys, and now we've got a sororal time with the girls. Hell yeah!
It doesn't quite pass the Bechdel test because they are talking about rescuing the rest of the crew, but it's not exactly that they're talking about guys in specific.
Right. And of course, the Bechdel test is only sort of a mental exercise to help one realize what role female characters in fiction are often given.
And in this case, they are kind of like the rescue crew. So
yeah,
that makes good sense to me.
It makes them heroes of their story. And that's the story so Farscape.
Please join us next week for another reading of Tales of the Uncharted Territories. And the week after that, we will be back with episode 405. And I will tell you what's in it if my Airtable app actually decides to,
Mine's
show me.
not loading either. I know it's called Promises, so we don't need to worry about that. But actually, I'm going to skip ahead of K and make sure that... Okay, how about you don't read it? Just don't read it. Don't read it. Don't read it. Nope. I didn't put the right synopsis in, and it says way too much. So
so no synopsis for now.
It's called Promises, and it's the one with the promises.
Okay, well.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of So Farscape.
You can find us at sofarscape.com. We have a bunch of links, sofarscape.com/links if you want to send in a synopsis. Hey, thanks for coming out in droves again for season 4. I know it was a bit thin on the last episode, but man, we really enjoy these. We're also having a lot of fun with fanfics. If you have any favorites, please send them in. There's also our Patreon. Thanks once again to all of our supporters. Hey, that actually reminds me, we haven't looked at the books in a while.
Oh yes, we should get back to that. Yes.
Yeah, you've got the RPG book.
See if we can get a little bit of information out of that. And I guess most of the Creatures book is about is becoming.
The Creatures book. Yes, I have it with me. Hold on. We have a lot. We have a lot to look at. Unfortunately, no Rygel, which I was hoping for.
No.
But we do have some more shots of... I could show you Noranti, which I didn't previously because it said her name and you didn't know that yet.
Oh, okay.
So
I
let
mean,
me see.
that would have been pretty safe anyway, because, I forget names about as fast as you can talk to them about. Yeah.
So you can see there's a sculpt there.
Is this page safe?
Go 2 pages to the next
one. All right,
one.
I'm just like...
And that one's Uni.
Oh, yes,
you can
him.
also see the aquatic creature from the last time.
You can actually see the glowing lights under his forehead there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That looks really cool in that shot.
No, there's no lights in there.
No,
That's just the paint.
Oh, very well done.
And then there's one more page, which is... you can see...
Oh, fantastic.
That looks, belly dancer girl.
Yes. Oh, look at those eyes. Like horizontally slitted pupils. Yeah. Very cool.
And that was like a last-minute sort of vacuum form that they did. I think the one on the left is Dave Elsey's sort of Photoshop mock-up.
Oh, I could have sworn it would have just been like someone with a little bit of prosthetics and makeup.
Right.
But the one on the right looks absolutely stunning.
And you get to appreciate, she's got this bra that almost looks like... I mean, it almost looks like she was just speckled with gold across the top of her body, and it just... coalesced a little bit more around the twins.
Yeah, well, I mean, she has this half-open top that she wears at first, and that comes up first.
Oh,
and then there's the gold bra underneath, and that comes off, but we only see Granny when she's taking that part off. We don't see the...
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes. I could flip back, presumably.
You can always flip back. Yes,
back.
absolutely.
Oh, yes. Oh, we're back here to
Talon Lit Shack.
And, that's quite far back all of a sudden. That's like half a season or so.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
So once again, thanks to our Patreon supporters who helped us buy this. I mean, it's a fairly obscure book right now. It's called The Creatures of Farscape by, let me see, by Joe Nazaro, who a few years ago worked with Jim Henson's Creature Shop to get all of these wonderful photos. It's a beautiful book to scrub through, and I'm very happy that our supporters help us get it. Thanks to our promise to only spend it on absolutely stupid stuff.
And that's the story so Farscape.
Wait, is that when we do it?
I don't know. I forget.
I already did it. Let's do it again.
Right.
And that's the story so Farscape.
I'm Kay.
I'm Kaki. Wow,
so
Farscape's so good.
Oh, come on. We can't do it like that.
Okay, you do it. Oh, no, I do it. I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay.
So Farscape's so good. You should write it down or something.
We frankly know it by now.
Speak for yourself.
We went off script because of the book. Otherwise, it would have gone fine.